Hey guys, this is E10 Sun from Sunbros. Today I'm really excited to be bringing you guys this brand new video. But before we get started with that, I want to make sure I remind you guys on how to get entered in for a chance to win our guaranteed skin giveaways that we do every Sunday night during our 1-hour question and answer live stream. All you gotta do is make sure you're subscribed to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and comment below with your in-game name and which skin you'd like to receive on either the NA or EU servers under 700 vouchers. And remember, the more videos that you do this with that are uploaded each week, the higher chance you have to win. Hey guys, and welcome to our Annette Hero Quick Look video. First of all, I'd like to do a little explaining. As most of you guys have probably noticed, I've been away for the last month. I haven't been live streaming or putting out any video content. Kind of just give you guys an update as to what is going on. I have injured my back, and that has made me unable to sit at my computer for long periods of time and get any kind of work done like that. So I've been having to allow it to heal and rest. I'm starting to feel a little bit better now, to the point where I can sit down on my computer for short periods of time and get some stuff done. I'm not 100% yet, and I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to start live streaming again, but I am on the mend. I'm starting to feel a little bit better, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Without further ado, Annette is a class support mage. Her role is buffs, and as you guys can see in the bottom left corner, all of her stats are even keel across the board down the middle, so really average on everything. Annette's passive is Whisper Wind. When a hero near Annette uses an ability, she gains a stack of Seal of the Wind, up to 15 stacks. At 10 stacks, when Annette or a nearby ally falls below 70% health, the seals will be consumed and restore a bunch of health to all nearby allies. This can only be triggered once every 5 seconds. Annette's first ability is Gust of Wind. Annette summons a whirlwind at the target location, dealing magic damage every 0.25 seconds for 2 seconds. The damage increases by 33% for every 2 hits, and enemies that are trapped in the center of the whirlwind take additional magic damage equal to 2% of their max HP, and their movement speed is reduced. Annette's second ability is Wind Cuffs. She fires a wind orb that deals magic damage and reduces enemy movement speed by 50% upon hitting a target. The orb does keep traveling, and upon striking a second target, it creates a chain that pulls both targets in and deals additional magic damage, and both of those targets are stunned. There is a passive part of this ability, the second ability, Wind Cuffs. Also, the cooldown of this ability is instantly reset when Annette is stunned. She also gains physical and magic resistance and a shield for 2 seconds. Annette's third ability in her ultimate is Hurricane Wall. Annette dashes towards the target location and summons a hurricane. Nearby enemy heroes are knocked back and take a bunch of magical damage. The hurricane also creates a barrier for 3.5 seconds. Allies within the barrier gain movement speed, attack speed, and enemy heroes cannot enter the barrier. This ability also instantly removes all crowd control effects on Annette. Alright guys, now we're going to be moving on to the pros and cons of Annette. And we're going to start with her pros, which are strengths. Things you're going to focus on if you're playing as Annette, things you're going to want to avoid if you're playing against her. Annette's first pro is her great crowd control. She has crowd control on all of her abilities. Her first ability, Gust Force, has a slow of 50% for only 0.25 seconds, but it keeps refreshing as long as they're in that circle. And then her second ability, Wind Cuffs, has a 50% slow upon hitting them with the ability, and if you hit 2 people with the ability, they both get sucked into that spot and get stunned for 1 second. So the overall time of crowd control is a little bit over 1 second. It's a very, very solid ability. Not easy to hit necessarily, but it's a very, very solid crowd control ability. And then, of course, her ultimate Hurricane Wall, which knocks back all heroes in a pretty large area. So overall, her crowd control is great. Even for support, she has a lot of crowd control, and it's going to be very, very useful for her kit. Her second pro is that she has a surprising lot of damage, and that comes in really the main form of that damage is from her first ability, Gust Force. It's a little AoE circle she puts down, but it's not particularly hard to aim. It casts quickly, and it does quite a bit of damage. If you can combine that with her second ability, Wind Cuffs, where you kind of knock 2 people into each other, stun them both, and then throw that down immediately afterwards, you can actually do a shockingly a lot of damage, more than you would expect to be able to do with a support type hero. And I think it plays well into the kind of hero she is, her toolkit overall, and what kind of fit she will be for certain team compositions. Her last pro is going to be that she has a really awesome multifaceted ult, and let me explain what I mean by that. Her ultimate Hurricane Wall does a bunch of different things. First of all, it is a big time dash. So she dashes towards the target location and summons a hurricane. So it's pretty long range. So this could effectively be used as an escape tool for her if she absolutely needs to. Not ideal, but that is an option because it is a very long dash. Second thing is, it knocks back all enemy heroes. So this could be a really effective tool for Annette to use in order to split teams apart. She can do this and knock some enemies towards her team to kind of like leading the sheep to the slaughter or what have you, and then knocking other enemies away from the team, creating a massive divide between these between the enemy's units so that we can create separation. We need to knock a couple people down and create an advantageous situation for her team. Now the next part about it that I want to focus on is it does pretty decent damage. It's not too bad at all. The damage is significant enough to be a difference maker and could help her finish off kills, especially from units that are far away that she needs to catch up to and get away. In which I think could help make her somewhat of an effective tower diver. If there's somebody with low health, she could jump on her tower, knock them down with her ultimate, and she does get a 40% movement speed buff. That's the second part of it. Now the Hurricane also creates a barrier for 3.5 seconds. Allies within the barrier gain 40% movement speed and 30% attack speed to start off. That ends up going up to 50% attack speed and 40% movement speed. So that is a really effective part of this ultimate also, where it gives massive buffs. It's going to be really nice for assassins to try to run through, or maybe even off tanks or tanks who are trying to catch up to enemies. That the movement speed will be helpful for everyone, and the attack speed is going to be extremely helpful for our really strong jungle marksmen right now that kind of thrive on attack speed, like Morin or even Slims and guys like that who really will benefit from that greatly. It's going to be amazing for that. And then here's the absolute most amazing part of this ult that I love, is that the barrier that she creates is impenetrable by heroes. Heroes cannot walk into it. Now they can attack into it, they can't walk into it, which essentially means that if your marksman is in this barrier, they get a massive movement speed buff, a massive attack speed buff, and they're completely immune from getting jumped on by the enemy tanks, the enemy warriors, the enemy assassins. They can still be attacked obviously by longer range heroes, but it really creates an advantageous situation for that potentially fed marksman jungle to really dish out damage while being very safe, way safer than really any other ability can guarantee them for 3.5 seconds. So that's a really awesome part. And then as that wasn't enough, the last part I think is a kicker for her. Like I said, this can be used as an escape ability because it does also instantly removes all crowd control effects on Annette. So she could really, even if she's stunned and dying, she could remove all crowd control effects and dash really far away. It's a super good use for this ability. Just so multifaceted, and it offers so many different uses. I think it's one of the stronger ults in the game right off the bat. Now we're moving on to Annette's cons. These are weaknesses and things that we're going to want to avoid if you're playing as Annette, and things you're going to want to look to exploit or take advantage of if you're playing against her. The first one is that the ultimate does have a long cooldown. So while it is tempting to use it for escaping, and you should if you need to, we want to be careful to make sure we use it at the appropriate times. This should be used to set up massive team fights, to secure kills, and of course to get out of a guaranteed death. So just be smart on how you use it, but the cooldown length starts at 60 seconds, and then it goes down to 50 seconds at level 3. So it's fairly long. Even with 40% cooldown reduction, it's still a long cooldown, and it's something that should be used appropriately. Not to the point where you're not using it at all, but definitely think about when you're using it. Make sure it's a good use of it. The second con behind Annette is that she doesn't necessarily fit all team comps. She's going to be very strong with marksmen on her team. Especially considering they can sit in her ultimate for 3.5 seconds without being able to be jumped by melee heroes, while being able to put out damage at a much increased attack speed than they're used to. So she'll be able to be used a lot with a lot of different team comps, but she'll thrive with certain team comps with marksman jungles and such. So while there's heroes that really fit other team comps but are really universal, like Teamy or Alice, who can really be used with virtually anyone, she's going to be more somebody who fits tremendously better with certain team comps than others. And her last con is going to be that Annette is not going to be difficult to play because her abilities are strong and she's going to have a really interesting kit, but she's going to be very difficult to master. The fact of the matter is that all 3 of her abilities are skill shots. They all need to be placed in just the right spot, and they need to be not to like be used, but to be really mastered and taken to the next level. They need to be placed at the exact right spot, and they need to be used at the right time, and that's something that is going to take time and effort and a really solid skill level to be able to take advantage of. Alright guys, that is it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the return of Sunbros and the return of our Hero Quick Look videos. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, until next time.